think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing out here? I know this is not going to be a popular one, man. I was contemplating for days on whether or not I really wanted to do it, man. But I kind of been doing a little round robin on the quote unquote Four Kings, and I introduced the one with Shakur, even though he wasn't one of the Four Kings. I did my spill on Tank and the adversity he faced with Lamont Roach and the double standards with that. I did the Let's Play a Game with Shakur Stevenson and whether or not people are really like nobody wants to fight him, the true or false. I did a segment on Teofimo Lopez, and it was identity crisis, you know what I'm saying? Gave my spill on that. Only one I hadn't done was Ryan, and I've been trying to put together something for Ryan and how I want to approach that conversation for Ryan. But I figured, man, let me go ahead and get this Devin Haney one out the way. And a lot of the time I found myself at war with a lot of the D-Hive, is what I call them. I used to do more content on Devin, right? And I used to give my opinions on him and try to keep it as close to center line as I could with everything that was going on. But what I realized is that they had a stronghold on YouTube, and they still do. They still do. Like, to my surprise, it is so shocking how two men could grab such a strong hold and mesmerize like the internet. Like, it is so crazy. Like, so I said, man, I seen something, man, and this was long ago. I've been said, I think it was either the last episode of 2023 or the first episode of 2024. I did a video and I talked about the most toxic fan bases in boxing, the 5 most toxic fan bases in boxing. And it's a short one. I might even play it. Cookie Monster. Salute. Bodywork. Salute, Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster say, sounding good. I appreciate that. Thanks for that mic check. You know I need that. I appreciate you. But I figure I'm probably going to play the 5 most toxic fan bases, but I'm not going to make it to where, like, people who's been hearing me, you know, on a regular basis, people that rock with me, I'm not going to interrupt anything in the beginning of this. But maybe as I go into the whole dialogue around this, I'll probably play it. But I was saying, man, listen, man. I said these 5 fan bases are the most toxic. And to my surprise, it hasn't much changed. Hasn't much changed. He still has the most toxic fan base in boxing. Why you say that, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? I gotta go over the curriculum, the first part, which I don't know if you could guess what it's gonna be. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse or manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person. These people have sought to gain power and control over the internet and the narrative, and they've done a damn good job at it. I'm shocked. I'm like this like Bill, him and his control over the internet is something that should be studied. It's something that should be studied for years to come. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what kind of sorcery, witchcraft, I don't know, man, voodoo. I don't know what it is that he has, this stronghold he has over the internet, but he got it. So in one breath, I commend him for being able to garner that kind of control. But in the other hand, I'm like, man, like, where does it start? Where does it end? Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality. And forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition. Like, that's what gaslighting is. And I patrol the internet, right? I found myself saying, you know what? There's places I'm not really gonna be going no more, man, and frequenting, because I know if my company and my presence is not desired, then I'm outie. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no need for me calling and checking in and you know what I'm saying, giving my 2 cents and doing my thing if my presence is not desired. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta tell me a whole bunch of times. I can read between lines. I know. So, but I find myself still, because this is the pulse of boxing, meaning I absorb everything. You know, and if I'm still listening to you, I mean, I rock with you to a certain extent. I just know who I can go to listen to. When you talk about this guy or that guy, I'm gonna go there to listen to you talk about them, because you have a thorough analysis and approach to that. Like, I could pretty much rest my head knowing that you're gonna do justice by this. But when they get down to talking about this person or that person, I'm out. I don't need to hear nothing, because you biased. Like, you are completely biased. So, but I found myself perusing the internet, and this was after the whole Gabe Rosado the Gabe Rosado aspect, right? And this particular channel I was on listening, they took and transposed the whole interaction between between Bill Haney and Gabe Rosado. They transposed it. They introduced it with a bias, for one. That's why I like if you really want to present an even conversation, because you already know, when you was younger and you was at recess and y'all was playing kickball, it was a certain way when you was the pitcher, that if they call, okay, this is how I want it slow and bouncy, you know what I'm saying, or roll it fast. It's like, if you don't give it slow and bouncy, you do that 3 times, they're gonna be like, new pitcher. They're gonna get you up out of there like, nah, deliver it to me the way I want. But if you are the pitcher, just like a pitcher in baseball, you got your little tricks, you got your little curveballs, you got all these little things, but it has to be within a parameter. So when you serve up a topic for discussion, you should serve it up like a volley. Like how when a ref in basketball, how he's supposed to toss that ball straight up as possible. Now, we know it's human error. Like on a night, he might be shaky. It might go a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. But in the beginning, when you're tossing up a conversation, you're supposed to toss that conversation up even, to give both opponents, especially in basketball, both opponents the same ability to be able to jump up. You don't want to tilt it over to one side to where somebody got to damn near jump through somebody or hit somebody with an elbow on their way to the ball. You want to toss it up, no diddy, evenly. But when it was introduced, they was like, oh yeah, man, because, man, Gabe, did y'all hear how Gabe went off on Bill? Like that, okay, right then and there. That's loaded. It's loaded. It's just like when people ask loaded questions, it's happening. All these plants, these guys that they allow to infiltrate the boxing and go ahead and get all of these be able to get access to these boxes and ask these questions. They plants, and they have an agenda, and that there's a certain criteria that they have to meet in the line of questioning, because it's clear that they have a mission. It's like when we in the army, they tell us This is you a soldier. This is the mission. So when you go in this interview, this is the mission. They're loaded. Cokie, salute Cokie. He said salute Bodywork. Bill Haney got exposed again. At this point, Bill used to taking L's. Exactly, man. Don't steal my thunder now, Cokie. Don't steal my thunder. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this. But when they tossed the conversation up, they were like, "Nah, we ain't heard about it." So when the person tossed it up, they had already tossed it up, already loaded. That Gabe Rosado was the one that went off on Bill Haney. And I swear I wanted to do. I mean, remember when Sean Zattel and I think it was Sean Zattel and Tim Bradley, when they was going over this, when T.O. first started the Banana Talk, I did one of these where I went and I did it with Sean Porter too. And I went and I played this is, if you want to have an unbiased opinion, you got to start doing things in chronological order. Stop being spoon-fed shit by people. Like, if you don't like how they cook over there, why would you let them do the choo-choo train and shovel that shit in your mouth? I don't do that. You gotta know, okay, well, they heavy on the salt over there, so if I want that, I'm gonna tell them right off top, no salt. Don't even put no salt on there. If you gotta, you know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta be able to do it. But when you want to get a clear understanding as to what happened and not secondhand information, you have to go back and do the homework yourself. Most of the time, these interviews only be 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Go back yourself. It's irresponsible. Even if you rock with a bunch of people, it's irresponsible to allow them to spoon feed you some shit. I hear it all the time. I sit and I watch and I listen, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not true. Like, they still believe in that. They do it. Like, it's not right. It's not true. Why? Because these people are so reliant. And that's one of the most dangerous things that we can do. When you rely on somebody else to put fuel in your vehicle, when you allow somebody else to put money in your pocket, unless y'all have a contract, you don't do it in anything else in life. You take full responsibility. Like, no, I'm gonna make sure gas is in mine. You don't make sure somebody else feeds you. You are responsible for yourself and how you get fed. I don't know where the translation get lost when we get online and we start talking boxing. So the minute you allow somebody to serve you up, first of all, the volley is wrong. It's already slanted when they serve it. Go back and watch the interview yourself. But what they did was they misconstrued the whole chain of events. And it was a bunch of slander. People saying that Gabe said stuff that he didn't say. Dennis Dan Harry, oh man, they always, man, I don't know why they get so much disdain. I don't know why they so despised. It's like they create these things themselves. I don't know why y'all don't get this, man. You cannot be the one out here trying to bully people, disrespecting everybody. Every five said, man, listen, I was off as far as like Devin was the reason why I got the zone. I said, man, who is this young man everybody keep talking about? Let me go see. He was the reason why I originally got the zone. And I said, okay, I see he got some skills, he got this. But the way he was being painted online versus what I actually see with my own eyes, and then, you know, this thing that he was saying with Tank, I was like, I don't even see what are they saying? First of all, he's taller, longer, stronger than all of his opponents, more active, he's selective, he's younger. This guy always has all the advantages. This is before everybody got wind he was ballooning up and all this, but you cannot terrorize. And I go down the list. I've made videos about how the Mikey Garcia shit was a lie, but he got the credit for chasing after Robert Easter. They went at Mikey after his mom died. I said, man, y'all ain't got no boundary. They went after Mikey after his mom died, only for Bill to go in the boxing voice and say, we never wanted that fight. But that's after they got the clout. They had got the clout off of saying they wanted AB. They got the clout after saying they wanted Robert Easter. They got the clout after saying they wanted Mikey Garcia. And I said, watch this. They always attach and clout chase a bigger name and then get in the ring with somebody else. who's shorter reach, less active, and older. And I made a joke out of it. I said, oh, he going through Murderer's Row. I did a video called Murderer's Row where I outlined that I outlined how much younger he is than all these guys, how much taller he is by inches, how much of a longer reach he had in arm reach, which is significant. It's the way that Richardson Hitchens beat Liam Paro. Reach. You reach, I teach. All of these things, now we know height don't fight, but it's all these things where they always position themselves in their advantage, taking fights, misconstrued, going over all these things, terrorizing every opponent that ever was on the other side. They did it with T.O. That fight never happened, but they got the whole YouTube world thinking that T.O. was ducking Devin. To this day. And I hate to keep saying this. I have no responsibility to try to defend Teofimo Lopez. It just is what it is. They got the whole internet thinking that Shakur ducked Devin Haney. They got the whole internet thinking that Lomachenko was ducking Devin Haney. They got the whole internet thinking that for all these years, Tank been ducking Devin Haney. That Ryan was really ducking Devin Haney. All these guys was ducking, and then I heard this lie. I heard this lie the other day, and I'm like, y'all still, this has already been cooked. That whole Shakur would have got his biggest purse. That shit already been cooked. It's been obliterated. Bob said it. Like, it was so many different aspects of it. That whole shit been obliterated. Man, it's been obliterated. The other thing is that Loma shit. That Loma shit, that been obliterated. That little tournament shit that they keep running with now, I heard that shit being rehearsed the other day and going back down, and all these sheep in the comment section talking about, yeah, man, this guy just, all he do is tell lies and just shitting on this dude who was actually speaking facts. They still running with this narrative that back when they had that tournament with T.O. and all them, T.O. and Abdullayev and Devin and all them, they still running with this fake ass lie about that, and they stuck. And the reason why, see, it's not just the shit that Bill be saying. And if you listen, Devin, he really don't say shit. It's really not the shit that Bill be doing. It's really not. It's the fact that they put batteries in all these people's backs, and they paid these content creators to get out there and spin and twist these narratives. And I call them goalkeepers. We done went from we got goalpost movers, which is a little bit of that, and then we got goal keepers, like goalies. We got real life goalies in boxing. That's where this came from. That's where this comes from. Goalies. And to them, this is what the truth looked like. The truth looked like a big old ugly ogre. That's what the truth looked like. The truth looked like Shrek. To them. But this tournament shit, let me blast this tournament shit out and break it down for people real simply. Listen, there was a tournament. And yes, Teofimo did pull out the tournament. You know when Teofimo Lopez pulled out the tournament? Teofimo Lopez and his father decided to pull out the tournament when they sat down and they found out that the winner of the tournament was not going to get Loma. I guess some of y'all done took 6th grade twice, or I don't know if it was the 3rd grade twice or the 4th grade twice. This back when this before that whole No Child Left Behind shit started. But some of y'all motherfuckers took 3rd grade twice, or 4th grade twice, or 5th grade twice, or 6th grade twice. Y'all took something twice because it's been years when this shit was already debunked. Once they figured out that, because Teofimo, much like what he's talking, as much as you don't like how he is and how brash he is and the shit his father do, Teofimo Lopez wanted Lomachenko. Devin and them said they did, so they all entered that tournament. But guess what? When Teofimo Lopez and his father found out they wasn't getting Loma, they pulled out. Devin and Bill knew that the winner of that tournament was not going to get Lomachenko. They stayed in it. These are the kind of subtle moves that they do to convince somebody, oh, look, even Loma they did some special shit. Like, you already know that they was doing something special for Loma. You already know when Bud re-signed and they took all that budget money and put it towards Tyson Fury and Loma that they was shitting on who? You fill in the blank who they was shitting on. They were bigger, they was making Loma the darling, giving the money that Bud got for that network, they was giving that shit to Fury and giving all the attention to Loma. So you already know that they were making Loma the darling. But since some of y'all took the third grade and some of y'all rolled on the short bus, we're gonna go over this again. Once they figured out that the winner of that tournament was not gonna get Loma, they figured it was a waste of time. What was Loma saying? At the time, Loma was already clouting off the fact that he had everybody thinking that Tank was ducking him, even though Tank was under Mayweather. And Mayweather would pick and choose when he wanted to try to embarrass Tank or when he wanted to try to promote him. And that game that promoters play with their fighters, they all do it. They all do it. So he was getting clout off that. And he was big boy in all of them. Loma wasn't just trying to shit on Devin, he was trying to shit on T.O. too. At the time, Richard Comey, when he had something going on, when he was a striker, like at that point in time, Richard Comey was a striker. When Richard Comey got that IBF, T.O. and his father, the light bulb clicked off, and they said, you know what? If Loma want to be undisputed, let's cut him off. Let's go do something that he needs. They went and Teofimo went out there and sparked Richard Comey. That's when he was doing this whole Heisman thing, doing his Fortnite dance. He went out there, people was nervous. They didn't even know. Now they'll shit on Comey now because Comey didn't win. He didn't do much. He had a couple other fights or whatever, but he kind of faded off or whatever. But when Teofimo Lopez went in there and spiked him for that IBF strap, and another reason why maybe they wasn't scared of Comey. I'm thinking, man, Comey was a striker back then. They was not trying to line Devin up with no striker. And then when we come to find out how much he ballooned up, he wasn't going to be trying to do that for the IBF anyway because it's a 10-pound rehydration. Dummies. So Teofimo Lopez goes over there and he spikes Richard Comey for the IBF. It wasn't until he got the IBF that Lomachenko would barely even acknowledge him. That's when he was like, welcome to my club. Basically, you got something I want now. Like, you a champion now. Now I can talk to you. It's the same shit they be doing to everybody else. Oh, Devin don't need such and such, or Devin don't need Shakur. Devin, I don't never hear that kind of talk with no other fan base. That they let ride. Let me qualify it. That people let ride with that shit. That's the only fan base that I know that they'll say, oh, man, he don't need him. He don't need him. Well, why do he need... I'm getting ahead of myself. So to debunk that whole tournament shit, because they still want to run with it, that's still a staple. I don't know how the fuck that's a staple in 2025. Because that's before Teofimo Lopez even fought Richard Comey, which is before he fought Loma. They still propagating that. They still propagating this fact that Mikey Garcia ducked Devin Haneys. Like, and Sandor Martin wound up getting that work. Sandor Martin wound up getting that Mikey work. After that, Mikey pretty much retired. Mikey, you know what I'm saying? He got some bags. He got a couple bags. He got paid. Got a couple bags, but Sandor Martin got that work. They get away with not fighting Sandor Martin. They get away with not fighting for that strap when Gary Russell and them, and nobody says nothing. They get a pass. And then the other thing is that, oh, he cleaned up 135. Cleaned up? He fought one time and got undisputed? which is, it is greatness in itself, because that's a history book. But come on now, you know goddamn well everybody's over embellishing, talking about he cleaned up 135. He did a commendable thing by dropping that franchise, correct? But that shit was a mess. But they acknowledge the franchise in one aspect as far as him getting rid of it and doing away with it, but they don't go over the implications of what that franchise meant. What that franchise meant, as ugly as the truth as it was that when it was in place, they were using that to trump the other belt. So if Loma didn't get elevated to the franchise, Devin wouldn't have got a belt. You can't occupy two spots at the same time, class. So they discredit even when on Akim Barak. Akim Barak was saying it today when they were discredited when they were talking to not today, but when they did this interview with Tio. It's been a couple weeks. When they did that interview with Tio, they kept saying, yeah, so you arguably are undisputed in two different weight classes because of what he did. Now it's arguable. But the fact of the matter that when Tio fought Loma, he went out and got a strap and then came back and unified the rest of them with the ones that Loma had. But the narrative is, Loma, man, he didn't really do it because, and then he got to Loma first. So if Loma was that guy and Tio got to him first and beat him first, what did that do? They moved the goal, but oh man, well, he didn't have the real one. Well, the belt that Loma had at the time, and you know these guys were greedy for all them sanctioning fees. They was handing out belts like candy. So you damn right Suleiman was going to issue out this belt and that belt. I had a thumbnail where it had one pair of pants and it had Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez sharing the same set of pants. And I was saying, Mauricio, you got to do something about this shit, man. You created something nasty and ugly. That still don't remove the chronological order as to how things happen. Teofimo Lopez went out and got a strap. It was an IBF. He then went on to beat Lomachenko. He then went on to lose to Kambosos. That's the chronology. So when then Devin fights Kambosos, and boom, one fight, undisputed. Gold defended. Defense is undisputed. In the meantime, at 35, he fought Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz was a viable name. They never talk about how he ducked that Fortuna smoke with a shoulder injury. So if you're going to tell all the facts, you got to go in chronological order and speak about what was going on at the time. He did the same shit, that clout chasing shit with Gary Russell, and then went and fought Gamboa. And that was after Tank fought Gamboa. And that's always acceptable, this pattern of fighting these little people coming off of losses, smaller, shorter reach, washed, older. It's been a pattern. He ain't clean up nothing at 35. The only real people that can really stake a claim for that is a combination of Loma and Tio. As far as cleaning up, he righted a wrong when Tio fucked up and lost to Kambosos by going in there and beating Kambosos. Devin righted a wrong in that situation. Yes, he did. But people they ignore the facts, they get emotional, and then they don't see nothing else. They're goalkeepers. They don't just move goalposts. When somebody else is putting the ball in the hole, they'll keep the goal. So it's a lot of things that's been going on over the years, man, that I had to sit back and endure, especially going up against the D-Hive all these years and saying, no, man, that's not right and exact. No, man. And then I finally just got off of that community. I just said, man, this community, they full of shit. They don't never got nothing good to say. They demonize everybody that's on the opposite end. I said, man, we gonna see how that shit work in the long run. We gonna see how it work in the long run, but you can't be so disrespectful and do some of the craziest stuff and say some of the craziest things to people who you might have to do business with. It's just now hitting people. And ain't nobody checking them. I don't know what kind of friends y'all are. I don't know what kind of fans he have, but nobody checks him. Everybody just say, oh, it's gonna be all right. No, y'all, man, y'all doing it. It's them. It's not us. Lying to them. You go back when you listen to that Gabe Rosado and do your homework yourself. If you feel that passionate about it, where you're gonna get on YouTube and lie and tell these stories and paint these narratives, go back and do the research yourself. Go back and listen. First of all, Gabe Rosado was doing his own thing, minding his own business, doing an analysis, just like everybody else. The same way Tim Bradley be doing it, and all these other guys, Andre Ward, the way they do it as veterans in the sport, who their opinions is it should be held higher than ours as people who never laced them up, doing the same thing as a veteran of the sport, getting cheated by somebody in the ring on something, on PEDs, and not finding out till after, doing the same shit that Frank Martin did with Michelle Rivera, when he popped hot. That didn't stop him from dropping him and doing all this. He was minding his own business, gave his opinion. And the thing is, when Gabe initially gave the opinion about Jose Ramirez, I didn't agree with Gabe. You know how I looked at it? When Gabe first said that, he basically said he think that Jose Ramirez is a little bit too dangerous for Devin. Me as a guy said, oh man, I was thinking, man, I was like, how much did they pay Gabe? My initial thoughts was, how much did they pay Gabe to say that, man? Gabe just got washed by Arnold Barbosa. Jose Ramirez had just got washed by Arnold Barbosa. He beat Arnold, to put it like this, Arnold Barbosa beat him better than, way better and way more decisive than he beat Jack Catterall. And this is after Arnold Barbosa just got his socks boxed off by the guy across the pond named Sean McCombs, who nobody talks about. Nobody talks about. I said, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, when I first heard it, I said, man, how much they paying Gabe to say this shit, man, about Jose Ramirez? At one point in time, when it was Josh Taylor on the scene and Regis was doing this thing and Jose Ramirez was doing this thing and what's his name? The other guy, the black dude from down there in Dallas. Like, Jose Ramirez was one of the guys. He was a force. He would press you. He would go to the body. He was like, man, he was one of them guys. But between inactivity and I don't know what he was going through, life change, I don't know what it was, but he wasn't somewhere along the line, just like how Regis kind of took a dip off, just like how Josh Taylor kind of took a dip off. I think it all attributed to the same thing. They stayed in the weight class too long. That was the common thing. They stayed in the weight class too long. So somewhere along the way, Jose Ramirez kind of took a couple steps back. Then he coming off of a loss. So I was like, why is he saying that, man? This should be easy peasy. I'm like, this is like for the best. If you didn't take a loss to Ryan, right? If you got it wiped out and the Ryan shit was a fluke and we gonna wipe it all away because of the Osterine, right? Because the Osterine made Ryan a star, right? The Osterine caused a C-class fighter to hit you with left hooks and straight rights all night. Yikes! Somebody that you said, you and your father said y'all were gonna go in there and kill. Osterine did that? I said, shit, fuck going to go out here and work and grind and hustle. I'm about to start slinging that Osterine if we can do all that, because we know that wasn't the case. But nevertheless, by the rules and cheating and all that, you got it wiped off. So you really didn't lose. My thoughts were, why are you moving like you lost? Because picking Jose Ramirez, and then before that, you were campaigning for Catterall. Everybody but Gary Antoine Russell, everybody but who fought for the strap, who was a tight fight with Puello, everybody but Puello who got your strap, everybody but Sandro Martin, who was Regis Prograis mandatory until you inherited, everybody but Sandro Martin. But you wanted Catterall. off of a performance when he beat a dude that you had just beat in Regis. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. I was like, well, why are you picking Jose Ramirez? So I didn't agree with Gabe. And that's where it's like, okay, if you take my opinion and Gabe's opinion, you got to default to Gabe. He was in the ring before. You from Philly. You put on them gloves. I mean, he ain't never been over to Iraq. But in this vein of the sport that we all know and talk about all the time, you got to default to his opinion. So this man say that Jose Ramirez he wouldn't do it. That's kind of hard, man. He's like, man, shit. He's sleeping on him. I wouldn't have took this. And instead of recognizing the alley hoop, a cosign, you get sensitive. You go after the man. You start disrespecting them. I was like, man, they can't be the brightest. I was like, that gotta be, that can't be Devin. That gotta be Bill talking like that. And I understand, because you gotta be able to separate the pride between you being a father and somebody disrespecting your son, and then you being a promoter and somebody disrespecting your perceived disrespect, your fighter, or saying something that's not conducive to your fighter. You gotta be able to draw the line. I don't think Bill can draw that line. There's a lot of things that people can say, right? A lot of things that people can't. There's a lot of things that people can't say to me about my son. But when he got on a helmet and some shoulder pads, and they say, "Oh man, we just want him to commit to the drills more. We want him." I can't be offended, because they're not talking about. They're talking about a guy playing football at that point. They're not talking about my son. That's the difference. Gabe gave his analysis on Devin as a former boxer and a current analyst. They jumped off the window instead of seeing the live, to where it's like, oh man, Gabe goes, see, listen to man, yeah, okay, so y'all listen, y'all think I'm taking on somebody that's sweet, somebody that's washed. Look at what Gabe said. Gabe said this is a dangerous fight. That's what we think. And the whole community should have got behind that. They didn't do that. They took it further with disrespect. So his baby actually orders an interview with Gabe. And Gabe come on there and say, listen, he did all the prerequisites. He said, listen, going into the Ryan fight, I actually had Devin Haney beating Ryan. He said I think he went in there with the wrong game plan. And then he said the same thing I said because after the fight, they asked him, did the left hook surprise you? Devin said, yeah, it did. It kind of did surprise me. We was like, what? Because the whole community would default to Tank. This is one of the only compliments that they give Tank, was when Tank said, all he got is a left hook. Tank had warned them for the whole time, all he got is a left hook. So if you went in there with the right game plan, first of all, you said you were going to go in there and kill a man. But nobody could ever say that to you if the shoe was on the other foot. Nobody can say I'm about to go in there and unalive Devin. Bill would have lost his fucking mind, but he get to do it. He get to do it. So how you think Ryan and his father feel when you said you gonna go in there and unalive a man? But it's okay when Bill and them get to say that, and everybody be like, you better not touch Devin. You better not say nothing to Devin. But it's a double standard with these goalkeepers. And then you said you was gonna go in the middle of the ring and stand in front of Ryan. And I ain't no genius. But C-level or not, with a lightning hook, faster hands, his hand speed is faster than yours. He has more power than you. That's not your strengths. It's not in your best interest to try to prove how much of a chin you got. Every time you try to do that, you get warned. The stove is hot. You got warned by JoJo. You got warned by Linares. You spanked Regis. which was surprising to me. That's when I say he made me eat the best crow I ever had in my life. I was like, now if you gonna make me eat crow, Devin, goddammit, that's how you do it. But cut this bullshit out where you gonna go in there and try to be monitored. That's not your skill set. That's not how you got to where you were. The best advice, when I used to ask my old head about this, he said every time he was consistent, he stays consistent with these things. He say, no, Devin don't need to do nothing. Devin needs to stick to doing what he did to get himself there. Best advice in the world. Don't try to prove that you got a metal chin. Don't try to prove that you got a titanium jaw. That's dumb as hell. When you a sniper, you got feet, you got movement. You can get inside, go to the body, get outside, move, impose your will, use your reach, make people follow you around, jab, 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 jab they fucking head off. And when they make a mistake, boom, you come off with the hook, you roll out, you make them chase you. His fan base don't tell him that. That's why I say I'm probably better for him than y'all are, because I'm telling them the truth. That's where he made the mistake. That's all Gabe said. He said, I think he chinny. Who didn't think he was chinny? Then people want to get online for 3 and 4 and 5, 6 days in a row trying to argue whether or not Devin have a chin. I said, listen. It's just like a woman who claiming she's sitting up there arguing with another woman about having a man. If you gotta argue about having a man, you ain't got no man. If you gotta argue about having a chin or your fighter having a chin, he ain't got no chin. Always, I make a little jokey joke about it. I say, man, Devin's chin is like Tommy's job. You ain't got no job, Tommy. You ain't got no chin, Devin. Once you understand that, you'll box like you don't have a chin. And you'll continue to win. It's like Superman going in there telling me, man, I can take that kryptonite, man. I'm telling you, man, I can handle it. But you know it's kryptonite. It don't make no sense. So when Gabe gave down the rundown and said, listen, I had Devin. I actually like Devin. He said, I actually like Devin as a fighter. I was a fan. He said, I'm a fan. He said, I actually had him beating Ryan Garcia. He said, but when I saw the fight, I saw the game plan. He said it was the wrong game plan. He didn't have no answer for the left hook. I think he's chinny. They lost it. So when his Bay, y'all know who Devin Bay is. When Devin Bay booked Gabe Rosado to go in there and do the interview, he set him up. Oh man, I'm gonna let Bill on, you know what I'm saying? I don't like blindsiding, even though that's a lie, because he blindsided Coach Calvin. See, he'll blindside you if he don't got no love for you. If he want to shit on you, he'll blindside you. So they blindside, well, they ain't blindside Gabe, but Gabe was like, sure, come on, we're gonna talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Let him on. The very first thing Bill does is he gets right on there and he disrespects Gabe Rosado. You a loser. You lost how many? You got 17 losses, blah, blah, blah. Start running down the Ram resume. You ain't shit. You a loser. My son more accomplished you. That's the first thing that happened. But you let these delusional ass people online tell it. That's not how it happened. But the thing is about this, if I'm lying, you can always go prove me wrong and go look at the interview. But a lot of people don't even want to look at the interview. They want to sit around and listen to Oscar the Grouch because they like the way he cook. Even though you're going to have high blood pressure listening to the way that motherfucker cook. It ain't no fruits and veggies over there. There's nothing but fried pork chops, refried beans. It ain't nothing healthy over there. Whole bunch of salt. Even some sweet shit, extra sweet shit, putting people up in drag on their thumbnails and shit like that. You like the way they cook, so you'd rather listen to that than go back to the original video and listen to the interview and look at the chronological order of how that conversation took place. And Gabe still handled it. He still handled it right. He's like, hold on, man. You talk about my resume. He's like, I've been in there. We start naming down there. I've been down there with him. I've been down there with this one. I've been down there with this one. I've been in there with Triple G. I've been in there with Brandon Jacobs. I've been in there with Charlo. I've been in there with this. He's like, my resume. He's like, I might not have won them all, but I was in them fights. Then he went to the whole, I got more money than you. And I was like, see, that shit is irrelevant. Like, that shit it's a mute talking point. It's a mute talking point, man. And like watching the black dude like go out like that online with the whole world watching, not people that's anesthetized or inebriated. And shout out, cause shit, I think it's been what, 6 months? I think it's been 6 months. Yeah, it's coming up on 6 months. It's been 6 months and close 5 and 6 months since I last had anything to drink and anything to smoke. So every day I've been leveling up. My brain's been pure. It's been less and less cloudy every day. So I've been not drink. I've been sober, no alcohol, no Mary Jane for 6 months. So for the people that's not anesthetized or inebriated, have clear thoughts, you can clearly see when you go back. But the people that got these rose-colored glasses and like getting spoon-fed, they can't see for shit. They gotta be hindsight is 2020. Like no, let's fix your goggles. If you need some glasses, let's go ahead and get you some bifocals so you can see. Let's get you some contacts if you want to be stylish. But let's fix your vision and how you seeing shit. Because it's not right to sit around and listen to what other people tell you happened when the information, if you feel so passionate and you got all the time to talk about it, why not go back and do the research and look at it? A half an hour of your time, 45 minutes of your time. And if I'm wrong, come back and tell me I'm wrong. Bill started that shit. Then he started calling. Then Gabe said, "Man, you let the money control you." He basically said, "Y'all hoes for the money" or something like that. This is after the man had already been utterly disrespected. And then Bill came out and called the man B. And he kept interrupting him, and the host didn't even stop it. The host just let Bill go ham. It was no kind of control, no kind of moderation, no nothing. He just let Bill just go ham. And I told you, people like that, they will do anything for likes, clicks, and views. Let that man go ham. Let Bill just go ham. He starts calling him a B. He started calling him a bastard. Talking about, and your father probably ain't this, and your father ain't this. And he's like, what are you talking about, Bill? My father was in my corner. Well, he probably ain't shit. Like, but if somebody did that with him, because he can't divide that line between having love for his son and being in a situation where you got to protect your son in true disrespect, or you got to have a conversation about somebody analyzing your son and the moves that he's making. It's two different things. But everybody, man, in the lead up and the build up to all these fights, man, they do it to everybody, man. And I said, man, listen, at some point in time, they're not going to want to work with you. You keep doing that. And they got their wake up call. They got their wake up call when after that fight, and he went over there when it was Saudi season, and he was calling Eddie. Eddie was like, man, the man called me at like 3 o'clock in the morning talking about tickets. He was like, listen, man, you are not my fighter. Like, you did not commit to me. You sitting up here worrying me about tickets. I got to get tickets for all these other people and doing all this because they thought like we all thought that Eddie and Devin them, they was like, you know what I'm saying, fingers crossed tight. But Eddie understood one thing. That Devin and them was never loyal to them. They were loyal to the bag and in this whole all this I'm a boss stuff. And I was like, man, be careful about that whole. It's a beautiful thing to be a boss. It's a beautiful thing to have that, to be able to wave that banner and hoist that flag. However, if you don't have the ability to put on all your events and finance it and do all this, and you in need of a network, you are a boss, but you still, like, even me, I'm a boss. I still need to acquire contracts from entities to give me the business. So yes, I'm a boss, but I still need contracts. If I can't do it all on my own standalone, then yes, I can still technically be a boss, but still need the people to give me contracts for what it is that I do. But they got showed. But if you don't believe me, just go back and look at the interview yourself. And I don't got no reason to defend Gabe. He got way more money than me. He already boxed. He definitely don't need nobody on the shoulder or nobody to wave no pom-poms for him. But it has to be a level of reasoning, man, because people, they are still delusional. And you can tell in all these conversations, you can always tell when you hear people talk about certain people and certain things about their bias. And when you hear it, it's like if you check it, then it's you being disrespectful. Here you go. You're trying to start something. If you point it out, it's like, no. Since we got time, since we sit around for 3 hours at a time, let's address it wholeheartedly. Let's address it head up. We don't want to do that. Because a lot of times people be putting the shit out their ass and they just got this thing to where they default to like, oh, well, they've already committed in their mind that it don't matter what you say, it was the Osterring that did it. And that's the wrong thing you should do. No, it was them lefts, it was them left hooks and them straight rights. Now the straight rights was setting up them left hooks. But even sending them back in there like, oh man, if it wasn't for the Osterring, man, and if it wasn't for the left hook, you would still be lying to the young man. But it's crazy still hearing people today in present day still running down all these goddamn lies, man. And it's been, you can tell it's truly a house of cards. Because look, you gotta go back and look. They were still, like, listen, man. These dudes right before the Ryan fight and all that, these dudes was disrespecting Floyd and them. Bill disrespected Bernard Hopkins, bro. Called that man a cat burglar, bro. He disrespected Coach Calvin. Worrying about that man pockets. He was out there putting up mug shots about Tank. Calling him a monkey. Like we was hard on T.O., but I was hard on both. I was hard on T.O. and I said, man, Bill need to cut that shit out. But that's just me though. I don't gotta appeal to all the masses. The channel with silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for grown men to remain silent. So a lot of people sitting by, like right now, it's a dude. It's one of the biggest boxers out here right now. I believe the dude is cycling off. I think he's cycling off. He's cycling off. And if you go back into that interview, with Gay Rosado, guess what else pops up? As they go down. Now this is already cleared up who disrespected who first. Who was out of pocket, who started it, who got the most disrespectful, who really didn't let the other one talk. Contrary to the narrative, just go back and look at the video. Stop it. Let it play for 20, 30 seconds and stop it and be like, okay, up until this point, who was disrespectful? Who allowed who? Y'all ain't gonna do it. Y'all ain't gonna do it. Y'all ain't gonna do it. Because it's gonna take too much accountability, and then you're gonna be forced to say, hey man, well damn, I had it all flip-flop. No. because you allow somebody else, you allowed another grown man or another grown woman feed you by hand to mouth. What I look like? You ain't gonna do it. But guess what else came up? Gabe asked Bill, and he brought it up and said, well, what y'all need to go to this Victor Conte for? What y'all need to be associated with this Victor for? Why y'all gotta be doing all that? Why at this point? Why y'all need it? And that's been my question. That's why you notice I backed off of talking about certain fighters, man. There I said it. I backed off of talking about certain fighters because I'm like, at this point in time, it's been some head scratch. It's been some really big names. Oh, it's been three humongous names that's now affiliated with that man. And I'm like, why at this point in your career, with all you've done, why would you even mire? Why would you even allow somebody to fathom? It gotta be a reason. There gotta be a reason. It's a dude right now, I believe he's cycling off, man. That's why the dude ain't fighting. He's cycling off, man. And I don't care who get offended. The man is cycling off, man. Cycling off, bro. And I believe that I can't put my finger on it, but it's probably because one fighter, it's another guy who, one guy he had to stay off for a year. The other guy didn't have to stay off for a year, but he's fighting at the same time as the other guy, and I think it's along the same line. Along the same lines, man. But the kitchen is getting way too hot. It's getting way too hot. It's like, oh man, I don't know, man. We might have to, you know what I'm saying? We might have to chill out for a little while. But there's two dudes, right? There's two dudes in this time frame that I believe was actually cycling off. It's three big ass names. It's three big ass names that just got affiliated with this dude. And I'm like, why? That's not my lane. It's another dude out here that's doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's his lane. You know what I'm saying? Make some very compelling arguments, man. So I'm just observing. But I know for me, it's the reason why I stopped talking about certain fighters on this channel. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why I don't like talking about certain fighters. When you bring up certain facts about them, man, oh, you hating. It's like, no, because if this was anybody else, you'd be up their ass with a flashlight. But with this guy and that woman, y'all want to turn the other cheek. Like, no. And like they said like we used to say in the Army, it's tight, but it's right. It's tight, but it's right. The bottom line is, man, y'all gotta stop. People online, man, y'all gotta stop with this bullshit that's going on. Y'all gotta stop with the bullshit that's going on. When it comes down to narratives and how you see shit and things that, you know, you'll crucify somebody else for some of the things that you won't even speak to. And that's why I started dropping out of a lot of these communities. Because the minute you say something, the minute you disagree, it's been plenty of channels. Plenty of channels. Big, huge channels. I used to frequent daily. I used to super chat all the time. Channels in the evening. Super chat all the time. The minute you say, hey, man, hold on, man. Oh, man, look at this nigga. Here he go. There he go with the... And it's like, man, come on, man. It's because people are acting the way that they never got to act in high school. People ain't never won shit, ain't never been a part of nothing, ain't never had to, like... These are the type of people that, instead of squaring up one-on-one, they'll try to jump you and shit. That kind of mindset. I ain't never been one of those. Type of people that even if you did square up, they're gonna try to bite you and shit. People that if y'all squaring up and you get the best of them, they're gonna be waiting by the trunk and shit. And people that they never was really a part of nothing, but they come online, they feel like, oh, I'm a part of this and I'm a part of that, and it's the camaraderie, but it's really they can't get that hate off in real life because somebody probably beat shit down their leg or knock all their teeth out on site if they did it. So they come online and they hide behind keyboards and get online and talk like this and do that or whatever and be, oh yeah, and gang up on people and talk this and deride and create this shit and then tell their whole audience, oh man, you know, look at this man is D-Rider, you know, like no, because you can't handle the truth. Jack Nicholson voice. Because the truth look like a big ass ugly ogre. But what I learned in life, just like when I was in the army, I had to tell my mom I got that DUI. You know what I said? I told her, I was like, man, this what happened. Yeah, they gonna take some rank. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this what happened. That's what happened. The thing is about the only thing about the truth is once you confront it head on, and you know that in your abilities, in your heart of hearts, and in your actions, you did what you were supposed to do. You can walk away. You won't have a heavy heart. You can assuage your conscience. You know how many people walking around, they might be like 170 pounds, but they walk around feeling like they 250 because they got so much heavy shit on their heart. They gotta make up this. They gotta cover this lie up. They gotta do all this other shit where it's like you could be walking around with a light heart and not so much shit on your mind if you just tell the truth. Don't ignore it. Confront it head on. In the worst case scenario, you deal with it. Worst case scenario, okay, it might take some time to recover from it. But a lot of people don't want to confront the truth head on and deal with it. You know you a monster. Deal with it. You know you got a drinking problem. Deal with it. You know you got a smoking problem. Deal with it. You know you addicted to this or that. Deal with it. And one of my mans, man, he's like a cousin, man. I just found out the man he finally got into rehab. This is like my cousin. He got into rehab. And every so often I'll call my brother and I'll be like, hey man, what's up with Cuzzo? How he doing? Oh man, he doing all right, man. I think this time, and this was like, this had to be like at least like 7 years overdue. But I'm like, something finally happened where the man said he needed to go to rehab. And I told her, and I tell my bro all the time when I talk to him, I say, hey man, the best in the rest of his life is going to start, man. All he had to do was hit that reset button and acknowledge that he needed something above himself. It was not in his control anymore. He couldn't control it. He needed something outside of himself to give him some steps, to give him something he can work with, some guidance, some tools so he can get over it. But I was so proud of the dude, and when I get a chance, I'm gonna go down there and see him. But I had to love him from afar for a while. It was breaking my heart seeing him like that, talking to him like that. We talk, we converse. 5 minutes, like on the phone, just talking, and then he'll call me like 5 minutes later, like we didn't even talk. I was like, man, that's crazy. And you care about him, you don't want nothing to do. So sometimes, I knew that just being there talking to him, well, if he here talking to me, he can't be out there driving or doing something crazy. So I would donate, give my time to him. And I'm so proud of the man that he finally took that step and he went ahead and went into rehab. And I was like, man, the best in the rest of his life is, and I know he gonna take off like a rocket. He just got to be able to redeem them last, 7, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? He got it, like, it's been about 7, strong 7. That's when I put my finger on it. He can redeem that time. But the thing is, he confronted his truth. As fans, man, like stop doing all that nasty shit that we doing out here online and then YouTube. Like, it's just boxing talk, man. You can be honest. It don't benefit you nothing to keep running around with all these lies and all this shit that y'all be making up to cover up because you don't think that this person look like. It's like arguing about a man, like a boxer having a chin. You sound dumb as hell. You sound dumb as hell arguing if you as a man arguing as to whether or not that guy over there got a chin. That's dumb as hell. It ain't your chin. You should be arguing, well, look, he don't need no chin because if he do X, Y, and Z, it don't matter because the chin ain't gonna get hit. That's probably too tactical and shit. But that's how I think, man. I'm not here for all the games and all that, man. And I think that all boxing conversations should lead to you either being educated about another fighter, you enjoying the pastime with you talking to your homies about some shit that y'all all care about, something productive, something you can walk away and be like, hey, man, I felt good, man. I laughed, you know what I'm saying? We had a good time. Yeah, I caught him on this one. I did not all this bullshit that we doing online. When it comes to talking about boxing, a lot of people just be coming there to rehearse and get their shit off. Shit that they've been regurgitating for years, and the shit ain't been true since they started saying it. Stop being goalkeepers, man. We should be going for boxers. Like this team right here, we should be admiring this team right here, the Haneys. We should be admiring them for the heights that the guy on the right was able to get the guy on the left, and praising them for that. But we shouldn't be covering up all this dirty, we shouldn't be covering up all this crazy shit that they do and making all these different, because look, they at the end of the road like boys to men, man. They at the end of the road, man. Like if this dude Jose Ramirez, if this dude go in there, man, and spark Devin, man, it's gonna be over, man. That's a lot of pressure. And you know what's gonna happen if that happen? Everybody, like the flip-floppers that they are gonna hop right back to where we already knew. Ryan had ruined them. Man. That might not be the case, but they are gonna flip-flop. People who know that shit ain't had nothing to do with the Oster ring are they're gonna come out in droves, right? The closeted ones who know deep down in their heart that shit ain't had nothing to do with no Oster ring. As much as they try to shove it down your throats, no diddy, they know it ain't had shit to do with Oster ring. It was the wrong game plan. Anytime Devin from the second to like the sixth, anytime he came out and got dropped, and then from the second to the sixth, he won all them rounds. Guess what happened? He got overconfident and he got baited in by Ryan, and he got dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped again. So had he did what he did from the second to the sixth, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But y'all won't be real with him. And y'all won't tell Bill to stop all that bullshit he doing, starting all that. I'm telling you, it's the same way. Now, I'm gonna get off of this and I'm gonna read the comments. I'm gonna get off of this, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna read the comments and I'll open it up. But it's the same thing I was thinking about because I was in the army, right? So I be thinking militant, right? And then I dabble in the politics. I stay abreast enough to know what's going on in the world. But I don't sit around watching CNN like 8 hours a day. Fuck no. I'll be depressed. But it's like, how are we going to be beefing with this country, beefing with that country, beefing with that country, beefing with this country, all these different people at the same time? I say, you know what? Thinking militant, I was like, if I lived over there and I was part of that company, soon as you start beef with another person, that's when I'll be bombing. That's when I'll be on attack mode. If I was them. Fortunately, I'm not them. I'm over here, but I do be looking like, how the hell are you gonna start beef with all these? Like, that's why I don't really have no enemies. I'll try to clear the air. But if I know that you don't fuck with me and I don't fuck with you, I'm gonna limit our interaction because I don't fuck with you. But I'm definitely not gonna go over here and start some shit over here, and then go over there and start some shit over there, and then go over here and start some shit over there, and then I'm out and about, and I got 3 people looking for me. I'm not gonna do it. But that's what they do. They start shit, and then when people address it or attack it, you get all this, oh man, why y'all always despising? It's the gayest shit in the world to me. It's the gayest shit in the world to me, man, like that y'all be doing that. If you go that way, cool. But let us know you go that way. Otherwise, it don't look good, man, when y'all be getting in front of this shit and y'all be trying to pacify and y'all don't want to confront the truth about what they doing and how they doing it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Just be real, man. And a lot of the shit, y'all keep giving them passes and watch. And y'all, and look, and the crazy thing is, the people that be up here, because they will flip-flop on your ass, man. Look how many people just did Tank. That's why I said the snakes have been revealed, bro. The snakes have been revealed. And look, Tank can still set out, and all he got was a draw. But look at all the people who flip-flopped on Tank. But wait, if this man go in there with Jose Ramirez and he don't get the job done and he fight out of character and then Jose Ramirez push him to the limit, I push it, I push. I ride it, I ride. Huh. If Jose Ramirez go out there and push him to, they are going to flip-flop on you. And who gonna be here? Little old me. Still speaking that truth. And keeping it 10 times 10, a whole buck on what y'all should have been doing and how y'all was wrong about this and wrong about that, but it ain't too late because you can bounce back from anything. Just got to be tactical and strategic and logical, and you got to remove all these emotions from everything that y'all are doing. You got to be able to compartmentalize. I sat up there and listened to an interview with Teofimo Lopez and Drink Champs, and he was so stuck on, they were trying to say, well, you could work with Eddie Reynoso and this. And he was so stuck on his father not getting the credit and not doing this. And I believe Devin probably got to deal with a lot of that. And Ak was trying to tell him, like, listen, man, no, man, that's still your father. He still get the credit. Like, you done what you did without him. He's like, what's wrong with you getting help? And somebody that's more, more of an expert or at this level, he got you to here. Not saying remove him, just get somebody that's more, like, I guess, credible in that way. I think Devin deal with the same thing. It's just like when Devin was talking about, oh man, how long he was at the weight class and how he go up. Tio at the same time was talking about the same thing. Why? Ryan was talking about the same thing. Why? Because they all the same age. They all got boxing dads. They all going through the same thing. They all went on and had children. They all went on to get married. They all the same age, going through the same things. It's just when you talk about this one boxer, he can't do no wrong. The other two, they just fuck up and all this, but one of them got more legacy. One of them ain't reached his potential in Ryan, but he was still able to do what he did with Devin, and nobody would tell Devin and them the truth because of their pride. We gotta stop, man. You gotta stop, man. Like, it's easy to just tell somebody the truth, man. It might be a hard, like this ogre, might be a hard, ugly truth. Just tell it and let you deal with it. And if they don't want to deal with it, hey, you had too much to drink, bro. No, you can't have your keys, bro. No, you was out of pocket the other day, bro. No, that was disrespectful, bro. Ain't enough of that going on in the world. I guess they took that whole Jay-Z, that shit Jay-Z said when he said, do his styles wealth. Took that way too far. Now everybody just doing this styles wealth. And if you can make some money on it, if you can be sensational about it, if you can get a couple clicks, a couple ha-ha, if you can link up and get a little 15 minutes of shine, fame and whatever, like that's what's up. But that shit don't last long. What do last long is you knowing you wrong in your heart of hearts for not saying some shit. And you know you doing some underhanded, like stupid shit, some shit that you can't even look at yourself in the mirror, some shit that you walking around really like a $175 feeling like you weigh 250. Stop it. And I feel sorry for Dev, man. I do. I kind of feel sorry for Dev in many ways, man. But I'm like, man, you the boss. You the boss. And at some point in time, you got to say, hey, Dad, do you think that was really right for my image, Dad? Do you think that's going to help me, Dad? Do you think all these bridges we burned, you don't think that's going to bite us in the ass, Dad? I know we're going to be all right financially. We've been all right. I know we always going to have fame. You know what I'm saying? I know we always going to do this. But for me going forward, do you think that this is right? I ride with you. You know I love you. I appreciate you for getting me here. But, like, do you think that everything, all the moves we make are right and exact? Not saying we got to be perfect. Not saying we can't make no mistakes. But do you think? Because you the boss. This is the same advice I say to Tio. This is the same shit I'm saying to Ryan. At some point, it was the same thing when I was looking at Tank. When I came to the observation, I said, man, you know what? Some people might be right about Tank as far as back during this time when they kept saying Floyd doing this and Floyd doing that. And I was looking at Floyd sideways too. And then I was like, well, Floyd more savvy. Floyd know what the stakes are. And Floyd knew that it wasn't until a point in time when Tank was mature enough to take on the task that he needed to take on. Because if he wasn't mature and he put him in some of these fights and get him to that bag, if he had not had the level of maturity or showed growth and maturity, he was going to crash harder than the shit that he just barely got nicked by. It'd have been worse. He'd have been on the Adrian Broner path. But what happened? Tank matured some. And even the consequences of after he matured, he had made something that came around and he just had to serve that time. He just had to serve that time for some shit that he had did a minute ago. But in the process, he matured. So now he can actually handle the shit. But that's just how I feel, man. That's just some stuff I had on my chest. I said I'm not gonna let this go by without touching on it. But like, stop being disgusting. If you shouldn't, I'm thinking, man, if you online and you talk about some shit, and I always know when people be shooting shit out their ass when you listen to them, where they ain't seen the interview, they ain't did a research on the fighter. They listen to this person over there say something about him, listen to that person over there say something about him. They went on BoxRec and looked up a couple things, and now all of a sudden they the expert. Fuck out of here. Mulians. Pop said, what's good, Brody? Salute, Pop. Salute, man. Easily baked. Bodywork. Salute. Easily baked. I think next gen, I think I told you how I feel about it. I'm not going to debate you as to whether or not Devin got a chin, bro. That's your opinion, man. He got one. Cool. You think he got one? Duly noted. Aaron Jones, what's up? What's up? My brother, salute Aaron Jones. If you look at Devin's face, the most damage came from Ryan's right hand. That's what I'll be trying to tell him. Like this, what I'll be trying to tell him when I pull this up. And I hate to do it because it's like pouring salt in the wound. But when I pull up this picture right here, and I say, okay, now if all he had was a left hook, how come the right side, at us looking at it, if all Ryan had was a left hook, how come the right side of his face looks leaner than the left side of his face, closer to where the finger is? Because it wasn't just a left hook. But this is back when I did the Haney pack and I let it go, man. I haven't been sitting around like all the DHP tonsil jewelry wears, throat coat sprayers, knee pad wears, you know, just sitting around just cooking different fighters for different reasons depending on what time of the month it is for them. I haven't been doing that. We smoked the Haney pack the night after Ryan. We touched on it on Murderer's Row like the next day. We let it slide. We ain't been sitting around just cooking them for that. But they do it. They do it. Thomas Hill, Bodywork, my guy. Salute. Salute, Thomas Hill. Yeah, we gonna see, man. If you know what I'm saying, I don't know who he gonna fight at welterweight. I don't even know who he gonna fight at welterweight. I don't know who he gonna fight at welterweight. He gotta get past Jose Ramirez, man. Then he got another opportunity to fight Ryan if he get past that, and then Ryan get past Rolly. But it's out there, man. It's out there. Aaron Jones, man. We ain't got a chance to wrap up, man, but I'm done with my portion, man. Anybody got anything to say? Anybody got anything to say? Support the channel, man. This the last thing I'm gonna leave y'all with, man, because I stay true, man. I stay true to myself. But this is gonna close us out since nobody got nothing to say. I'm just gonna go ahead and play this, man, and that's gonna be it. We're gonna ride it out. But if you like the video, if you found some nutritional value in it, because this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. This is fact-based content. Like, this is supposed to be responsible boxing talk. And that's the whole purpose of my channel. Silence is consent, man. We not gonna be sugarcoating and trying to. We want all these dudes to be successful, but like, we need to stop with the shenanigans online. All this gaslighting that we doing, man. It's not gonna get your fighter no further, man. If you keep lying to him, and you gonna look real bad and be real hypocritical when they fall all the way to the pit, it can't recover. All because you want to, you know what I'm saying, keep telling them like, nah, man, you good, you straight. Nah, man, it's all good. But this is the last thing I'm gonna play, man. And we gonna ride out, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. The Cash App works, the Super Chat works if you feel compelled to.
And you know what I mean? Either we fought them or they declined to fight him. Either we put something on the table, right, or we waited on them to put something on the table. Devin is the best fighter. Did he want to start boxing? No, no, guy. You know what I'm saying? Come in and do some of that destructive shit to Mr. Pillow Fisted, Devin Haney, that you said, no, I'm not. We might come get you.
Talk a little boxing today. I want to talk about the 5 most toxic fan bases in boxing, since we're coming to is really to put positive water back in and actually change the perspective on being. People abreast of what's really going on in the sport. You know what I'm saying? As time go on and you mature a little bit and you understand that life happens and things like that. I kind of matured on them. I was coming heavy on the PED stuff and, you know, not fighting the people that we really wanted to see. But when you away, they excuse everything. They have an excuse. Give them a reprieve. Rarely, ever catch somebody really keeping it all the way a buck on Canelo. They slap on the wrist and they back in, and the commission say it's all good, and they're commissioned to fight. and they're able to command as much money as somebody like Canelo Alvarez, then I mean, who am I to say, you know what I'm saying, you're not pound for pound when I know that they haven't had their shot. So I would also say that, you know what I'm saying, I had to give that man his credit, you know. But I'm not really on the Canelo fan base. I'm a T.O. fan, you know, because T.O. fan base, reason why I don't, the biggest knock on the T.O. fan base is that they played Pit out of race. I'm not going to culturally that made me say, you know what, I can't really rock with him like that. What I look like a fool representing a rock about Tank or Abdul Wahid. The historian all along the line. His biggest thing is his mental state. Pound for pound fan bases, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I mean, I hope T.O. get it together. I hope that he, you know, for free. Three, the Bud fan base, another fan base in which I'm a fan of Bud. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, but bigger fan base of some conversations and keeping it a buck and keeping it 100 and double standards and all of that stuff, because they can accuse Earl Spence of all kind of things. They can berate him for the DUI. You know, they can talk all kind of stuff. They can say all kind of wild, crazy things. But the minute somebody say, "Oh man, well, what about when you know anything personal hasn't even come up?" Bud Crawford, or him, whether we're going to go ball. Once he gets back in the ring, we'll see that fan base. Coming in at number 2 is the Wilder fan base. I have he's the most specialist guy on the planet, and his coaches say that, you know, he's the hardest hitting guy in boxing heavyweight history or the history of the sport of boxing and this and that. It was like, well, ooh, as a coach, that's a gift and a curse because, you know, you're trying to tell me that you inherit under that tutelage with the most powerful hand in the world, and this guy's still losing. What did that say about? Aaron Jones, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I had myself on mute. What's good with
Okay.
you, man? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you too, brother. Ain't nothing, man. You know, going through this thing we call life outside of boxing. You know how that go.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Life
it's
be
been a
life.
minute. Yeah, life definitely be life, and that motherfucker be trying. It felt like Tank and Roach. That's what I be feeling out here, man.
Yeah.
Only thing is you can't stop, man. You gotta keep going. But man, it's been a minute though, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been maintaining, man. I'm just shaking my head at where we going with boxing. It's a lot of good things, but I just been looking at everything and listening to people rationale and like these double standards. This shit is like you almost gotta have like 4 or 5 personalities just to
No,
grasp it.
I ain't gonna lie. You hit it right on the nose with that. You gotta have multiple multiple personality disorder. Bro, every time I get on Twitter or YouTube or anything that's boxing, it's always either a boxer or the interviewer saying some dumbass shit. Oh, I don't mean to cuss, but they just
Oh, you
saying
good?
some dumb. They saying like, bro, this the only sport you can say dumb stuff. You seen with Bud posts?
Yeah.
Why would they get on your undercard, bro? You not like, come on, man. That's the problem with the interviewers and the fans. They be pumping these boxers' head up
Mm-hmm.
real bad. Like, bro, nobody knows you. Like nobody, unless they watch boxing. Other than that, nobody knows you. Like, can you just sit down, bro? Please. Or fight something, do something. But when they sit, like when they idle, that's when they get to run in their mouth and just saying anything because they not relevant unless they got a fight on. So they got to say anything. Like, bro, why the fuck they get on your undercard, man? And you're a bigger name than Shakur, but they have both of their names hold more weight than you combined, period. So why would they get on your, especially Canelo? That first of all, that's them two matchups to me. It's just like it's not even like I don't get it.
I remember, but look, Aaron, I remember when everybody was pumping this shit about when Jamel was getting ready to make that leap. They were saying that man was ducking Tim Tszyu and he needed and Mel was we basically knew that Jamel wasn't going to do nothing to get in the way of that bag. It ain't no pressure for Bud to do shit until he go fight Canelo. But this is the thing. When they found out that Fundora was getting ready getting on with Spence, that's when Bud popped out and was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? You got to see me. And then he said that he was going to, in his words, allow it to happen so that he get the winner. So that didn't happen. But I thought that was just the guys to avoid some of that other smoke at 154, right? That's just my theory. But I'm giving him the same pass that everybody was saying. Like some people were saying that Jamel, he wasn't going to risk taking no fight in between him getting that Canelo bag because you get hurt, you get injured, you do. So, but Mel didn't get that same. They roasted the shit out of him. They making all kind of excuses for Bud, like in him and not getting the smoke at 154 because he allowed. So when Spence in Fundora, when that fight didn't come to fruition, there was no smoke because I thought Bud was allowing Fundora to go along with the Spence thing. You know what I'm saying? So now we hear that he dropped. Now we hearing that he's dropping the belt. He gonna go ahead and drop that WBA. But my whole thing was this: that man ain't have no. He ain't have no intention on doing nothing at 54, but stepping up one time, getting a belt, and then waiting and watching the same shit he was doing at 47 when he was pick choosing and refusing until he got the Earl. He was gonna let everybody else do what Earl did at 47. He was gonna do the same shit at 54 because notice how the conversation changed because after Spence, he looking all off at Mel and saying you next and all this stuff.
Shit,
He ain't never spin the block and say nothing about Mel or no kind of night. We don't want to fight him no more. You don't want to fight him no more. He was the guy at 54, contrary to what all these people on YouTube talking about.
The guy.
Right? He clean. You talking about cleaning up? They say Devin cleaned up 35. No, a cleanup is what Mel did at 54.
Yes, and that took how many years, Mike? That took a long minute.
That shit took like.
Who was the first one? Who was the first one?
James.
Was the first one?
I think it was James.
Yeah, yep. That was two good fights. James, Tony Hurst. Is it Tony Hurst? No, that wasn't it.
Nah, that was. I think it was the. I think it was the. What they say, the son of a legend. That dude. He hit with that overhand right.
Oh yeah. That's all right. Then he had a fight after that. Then he fought Tony Hurst. Okay, yeah, that was the guy, man. Come on, bro. And he was even talking about that fight during the Canelo fight. He was like, man, after this fight, me and Turns can run it. He was saying that. That's how I kind of knew like his head wasn't always there for that Canelo fight. Cause he was more worried about Bud. But Bud running his mouth in the ring with Earl, like come on, bro. Like you supposed to fight him right after that. Fuck all that money grab. Now everybody want to be a money grab and all that.
Yeah, but remember they were just legacy just yesterday. It was all good, all legacy just. And then, but when Tank said, "Look, man, I'm just about to break." Oh, look at him. He ain't no legacy. So when he do that, he wrong for the money. But when everybody skip out on legacy and say, "Oh, no, I'm about to bag," like when Shakur did it, Bud doing it, everybody doing it now, talking about money. It was like Tank was wrong for doing it, and he actually getting to the guap.
Man, listen, it depends on who asking the question and what type of platform they on. They on Twitter, it's whatever the fans. Oh, it's about money, Turkey Alice Sheik and all that. That's why I think that fight in his head.
Look, I heard the biggest voice on YouTube today say, "Oh, well, yeah, Tank did the 1.2, but then we can't count that because he digressed after that. He went on to do 250." I'm like, what standards do you? I'm like, and they said Bud sell. This nigga literally said Bud sells more than Tank. I'm like, and he discounted the 1.2 because it was with Ryan. I said, where do they do that at?
They see, that's what I'm saying. Every time you get on, there's somebody saying something. They still on that, trying to just lie. Like,
and I'm like, why every interview, if you notice this, why every interview they do with Bud, they always caps it with something he's saying about Tank. Why is he clouting off with, like, you should be able to say you this big salesman. Like every interview they take in the title under the newest interview, I'm like, okay, I'm about to see what's going on with Bud. He talking about Tank. That'd be the highlight of the whole video. Bro,
if you let Floyd Mayweather just talk and don't do no research, you would swear Floyd Mayweather did $1 million every fight. And he didn't. What the hell? Like, come on. Yo, if you look at Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view fight, all of them was not over $1 million. It was like, what, only like 4, like something like that, or 5 over $1 million. But other than that, they was all 300s, and I don't think that Berto one, that Andre Berto, the last one, that was like what? In the 3s too, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Like, come on, bro. That the numbers talk is like only for Tank, cause everybody want whatever fighter they mess with. They want that fighter to be the new pay-per-view guy and all that. Like Shakur has yet to be on pay-per-view. Tio has yet to be on. Well, he did pay-per-view, I think. Did he? No, he did not. And it's like, yeah, man. Like, even if Tank wasn't from my hometown, bro, I would still fuck with him as like the pay-per-view guy. Cause like, who else is it except for Canelo? Like, what the hell? Oh, they ain't trying to say the pay-per-view bias. Damn. But yeah, like, come on, bro. Like, they just put boxing in this space to this day. Even basketball starting to pick back up traction and shit like that. Like, cause they don't talk about one. Like, they was going down, but ever since they started, like, you know, talking more about SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and all the rest of the, you know, because at first they were just doing LeBron and Steph Curry. You know, they got losing records. They were just doing that and just keep repeating and repeating and repeating. That's why people wasn't tuning in like that. It wasn't because of the product. It was because you putting it in a box. So when people turn on YouTube and anything boxing media, you see you trashing the top, whoever is, you trashing the fighters that need to be brought up, like with the, you know, they need to be brought up more. But you will put Shakur right there when Shakur is not doing nothing. Like he just want, like, you got people really on Twitter putting his highlights up of him fight the last fight he had. Like, come on, bro. I'm dead serious. Like they look at Shakur roll this punch off and he finished him off. I'm like, bro, is you serious, man? Like, y'all can't be serious with it. Like, Shakur used to be my guy, but like, he rolling with that narrative too. Even that's why I'm saying, like, Keyshawn need to get away from them too. Like, I heard him say, like, now Lamont Roach deserve a fight with him. Like, bro, y'all is not fighting nobody, man. Like, how did he deserve you? If anything, I wouldn't get in the ring with no Lamont Roach if I was you. Cause I ain't gonna lie, like, I knew he was he was nice a little bit, but that's different a little bit. Like, when I saw him fight, bro, he can fight, man. He can fight. That ain't no get down, lay down ass nigga. Now, he might get knocked out next time, cause you know how that go. Yeah, but he could actually fight. Like, he could stand in there and take a little bit of punches. But Tank wasn't really, to me. This is my opinion. That's Tank homeboy, bro. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
They ain't gonna say it, but that's Tank homeboy. Like, they grew up together. Like that. He probably wanted, like, you know, to go the distance. He probably ain't expect a draw though, but he wanted to go the distance for them to get him that payday and not fuck his name up a little bit. But now he can knock his ass out though. But other than that, what you ready to say?
That's how I saw. I said, man, with too much respect, and you could tell, man, I ain't never seen Tank pull no punches and do all that. But they go say, oh, that's an excuse. That's an excuse. You just want to see. I'm like, all right, you can believe what you want. Like, I know what I saw.
I watched the fight. I was ready to say I watched the fight, bro. Come on, bro. And he tried to take a knee too. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's Tank homeboy. But he now got the green, like, the knock his ass out now, because there really ain't no point of he getting his homeboy paid. See, Shakur and all them, they scared to get in that ring with Tank, bro. Not scared as in like, oh, I'm scared of Tank. No, they scared of that reputation getting because just like with Brian and Devin. See, Brian played the 50 all the way up to the fight. And he was drinking that day. Like, that's still crazy to me. Like, they cannot be that dumb. I'm telling you, like, Brian really played with, he even pumped his head up talking about, before the fight, he was like, Devin is a more difficult fight. But now in another interview he just did at one of his workouts, he was like, he would say Tank is a more well-rounded boxer than Devin. come on, bro. Even what you were saying earlier about the situation with him and Gabe Rosado, man, like they still on that same shit boat, man. Not learning, man.
I looked at the interview, man, and I'm like, and I heard people talk about it. I'm like, what interview did y'all watch? And like, y'all got the order all flipped around, and like, Gabe was respectful. Like he said, I respect Devin. Like he gave him the utmost credit. Bill came on there with that wild Bill shit.
You know,
like he always do.
Yeah,
it crashed out. That shit was embarrassing to me, and I don't really rock with them like that. I keep it 100 on them. You know what I'm saying? But Bill did that.
Yeah, that's like, come on, bro. You can't keep just disrespecting everybody with the fake. It's fake disrespect too, because he behind a computer. When Bernard told him step in that bathroom, bro, he got scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. He got scared.
Gabe said the same thing. Gabe said, I bet you won't say that to my face. I bet you won't be talking like that to my face.
Yeah, come on, bro. You could tell Bill, black people really don't get bread or nothing like that. You can tell he got a little hot and all that stuff. Like when Bernard told him, bro, he been to jail and all that. Not no petty crimes. Like, he been to jail, so you can't just keep. Even Coach Calvin, he tried to play the 50 on the internet, but Coach Calvin, I don't know if you know this, Mike, but Coach Calvin, they really used to call him CCO. Like, he really was nothing to play with back.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I said they be saying it because he get a little. Sometimes you get a little teary-eyed, and they see him. They see the softer side of him because of how he deal with Tank. Because that's really like his son for real. Like, and so they see that, and they think that Calvin is something else. I'm like, man, y'all don't know the background. Like, y'all playing because this is online, and y'all think that shit cute. But Coach Cal ain't nothing to fuck with like that.
Yeah, even Tank said that. Or when they was asking, like, man, he was like, man, that shit for life. He was like, y'all don't even know Calvin. That's CCO. That's what they used to call him. And then I worked with his one of his big mothers at my last job, bro. She said the same thing. Like, Coach Calvin was like, when he wasn't playing about that penitentiary knife stuff, but he used to stab you. Like he like that wasn't like no play or nothing. Like, bro, y'all gotta chill with all that boxing stuff. Even Shakur, chill out, bro. You got all your little crew want to be tough, like Ray Savage and all of them. Now, I don't know why they call him Ray Savage though, but like, come on, bro. Y'all got all y'all want to be tough boxers, bro. Boxers do not be tough like that. Even Devin Haney, bro. Like, y'all not tough like that, bro. Okay, you could get a gun, register a gun. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. Oh, yeah, look, it did 400. Him and Andre Berto. Floyd Mayweather. Like, come on, bro. Everything was not $1 million, $2 million, $5 million. It was not like that. It's not like that for nobody. The numbers that Tank is doing right now, that's the numbers you want, because a lot of people steal the fights. Or, you know what they do? They go to somebody's house that's watching a fight. They don't buy. Everybody's not. Back in the day, you had no choice but to buy a fight because everybody had, cable TV.
Yep.
It wasn't no ball. Like, it was rarely balls that show all the fights and all that. But now, you got Fire Stick, you got stream boxes, you got links. You got all that shit. Like, that shit ain't easy to do, no, man. You gotta do a big name to get up there like that. Cause Ryan had all the little girls and all the little Mexican girls and the teenagers, the pretty boys, the YouTubers, and all that. He had all them following him for a long time. Not because he was fighting Tank. He been had that following. He just ain't been brought up right. Like, if this is my opinion, if he was under like PBC, he would have been like Tank.
Yep.
But now he is, but he would have been like how Tank got brought up. Even though they still did a good job with him, sort of, kind of, but you know, he would have been up there. So all that pay-per-view talk, bro. But they did what? They did a little bit under that. Him and Earl.
I think they did like 6. I don't know.
Yeah, six.
Six something.
Yeah, like come on, bro. Like that shit. To me, I don't even worry about the pay-per-view buys, to be honest.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't really worry. I never did. Like it's just, you know, that's money in a pocket. What the fuck? I think I paid for the last fight. I went. Usually I just go. My grandfather was alive. We'd go over his house, watch the fight. But when I was home with my ex, man, I was I think I paid the $89.99 for the Ryan fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I paid for it because, you know, I was like, man, this is his first, like, you know, big breakout fight. Might as well, you know, stay home and pay for it myself. And I paid for that thing. And, you know, that's just what happened. Other than that, I really don't worry about that shit, bro, because at the end of the day, it don't make sense to, if you on pay-per-view or you not. Like, Shakur ain't doing no goddamn pay-per-views. And that nigga, he been what, 3 division world champ?
Yep.
Yeah, T.O., even though I fuck with his style and all that shit, he ain't never been on no pay-per-view. And he a 2 division champ? Motherfucking Bud just got on he just did a big pay-per-view. Other than that, his shit was shitty. It was doing 180. Like, come on, bro. All because they was trying to force it. Well, he was begging them to put him on pay-per-view. And all that. And even, what's his name? What's his name? Damn. What his name is? The other dude.
What division? Loma?
Yeah, Loma. Loma. Oh my God. You would have thought he did hit $1 million already.
They moved the goalpost.
Yeah, he needed Tank the whole time. And they even moved the goalpost even further, Mike, because, you know, him and Tank was supposed to could have been got on, but like Leonard Ellaby said, they was doing that tournament, that bullshit lightweight tournament up the top rank. And he was trying to say, oh yeah, they all about money. No, bro, y'all all about keeping freezing certain fighters out, just like Turkey Island keep doing. Cause you seen what Benavidez said, right? He said you're not willing to sit down with them or anything, they'll freeze you out from all the big fights. Cause everybody keep talking about, I'm gonna get Turkey out of sheet. Maybe Turkey out of sheet can set up the fight. Maybe Turkey out of sheet. That's what T.O. keep talking about. Or Bud or Shakur. Anybody that's over there, that's all they say. Turkey out of sheet can set up the fight. Yeah, Turkey out of sheet. I'm like, okay, like, bro, but he gotta be willing, like, to kick that bread out to everybody else. That shit ain't gonna last long.
I said, man, if it was all about the bread and he had all the money, then the Canelo and Benavidez fight would happen. The Tank and Shakur fight would happen, where it makes sense for everybody. Ain't nobody gotta do no compromise. If your goal was to make the fights and to fill in the piece where everybody get an exorbitant amount of money, we would have got those. Like, yeah, he put on some things. I think he did more for like the heavyweights. He definitely put on for the heavyweights.
That's what I said too.
I like he really got a lot of the heavyweight stuff settled, which was good. And then he got the undisputed between Bivol and Beterbiev.
Yeah, he got
like outside of that, like when you look at what he done, like he put on some cards, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't did what everybody else said. Like he ain't, cause like the truth be told, they be saying that shit made with Bud and Canelo, but that shit ain't etched in stone right now. Can't nobody tell me it is.
I don't think so. I don't think so, cause you know Bud a greedy little motherfucker. Like he ain't gonna just want little petty change. He gonna want that bag, man. He gonna want the bag, and that's not Earl. You ain't gonna sucker Earl. I mean, you ain't gonna sucker Canelo and make him feel bad for you and make him you know, give you a handout. Even though Bud, you could say, yeah, he earned it and all that, but Earl gave up too much, man.
Way too much, man. Like
Yeah,
that's and they shit on Earl. That's why I
they
be in
shitted
some
on him. They
panels and
wait.
stuff, and they get on that Earl shit, man. I kill it every time, man. I be like, man, y'all gonna shut that shit up because how is Earl ain't shit? But that's the thing that propelled Bud into stardom. I like y'all talking out of both sides of your neck and y'all don't
Yeah,
sound right.
man. Yeah, he said I wanted to fight Terrence Crawford. He didn't. Ben was saying that though. He said, "Let me clean up my side of the street and I'm gonna go fight Terrence Crawford." Like that's what he said. That's what he meant, bro. But yeah, I just seen that picture just like before I hot no air, bro. He definitely was. Yeah, he was off a little bit. He was a little high or something, bro.
Yeah, he was. I remember seeing my lady. I said, babe, what's wrong with my
I
man?
don't
The
care,
nigga was
bro.
glossy. He was
Yes.
glossy. Look, that nigga looked like he wanted to go straight to sleep. Like he just worked a double. You know what I'm saying?
And
And
Terrence
smoked
was
a
whooping
spliff.
that ass, man. He got in that ring though, so you can't say nothing.
He got in there and he lasted to the ninth.
Yeah, Terrence was whooping that ass.
But look, let me ask you something.
Yeah,
Did you see how when after the because you know they fought a week apart, Shakur and the electrician, they fought, and then the next week Tank and Lamont fought, right? But after the electrician, they was asking Shakur about it. He was like, "Well, I want to let my hands heal, right?" And then soon as Lamont Roach and Tank fought, it was all these, me and Lamont talked, and we about to do it. We willing to fight next. Did you see that?
I told you, Mike. That's depending on who the audience is, man. He want to look. Soon as they said, soon as they fought, which was a good fight. That's how you supposed to have a good fight, not running and all that. They want to jump on that train because you know why? You should already know what I'm going to say. All the celebrities is watching. All the because boxers is groupies, in my opinion. Oh yeah, everybody watch this fight. Let me say something on Twitter, so the celebrities can look at what I said. I'll fight them. Yeah. Lamont, we can have a good fight. No, you're not gonna have no good fight. You're gonna run because he don't got no style to where though. You're gonna just sit right there with him.
Yeah, I said that. I said, man, don't let because Lamont went that because when we both know, like we know it ain't no excuse, but Tank ain't gonna have the same respect that he gonna have. Like he ain't gonna have. He gonna be disrespectful.
That's what I said. He gonna.
And then he's an orthodox fighter. That's like southpaw looking at that. You ain't gonna be able to do that because you a southpaw. Part of the reason was Lamont was orthodox, and that's his style. And Tank had respect for that dude. Like you ain't never seen Tank after the round over stand there and dap somebody up before he go to the corner, all that extra shit, and then all that talking.
I've never seen that.
I was pissed, man. I was like, man, Tank. I was in there. I mean, I was in here cursing. I was looking. Me and my lady looked. I was like, after 6 rounds, I was like, babe, what the fuck is Tank? She was like, man, Tank could drive you crazy, Ronnie. I was like, man, what is he doing? After 6 rounds, he ain't do shit.
Yo, that's what I was saying the whole time. And don't get me wrong, I fuck with the DC niggas, but you know how they be when it come to us. Hey, bitch, Baltimore niggas.
Yep.
You know how they get. They can't wait to get on us, man. Hey, he gave them fuel to the fire. Hey, bitch ass Baltimore nigga. Yeah, we represent. Cause you know he really from Maryland. But you know if you close to right there, you go and claim DC.
Yeah.
Like, bitch ass Baltimore nigga. Yeah, you know. I'm like, man, there they go. There they go, man. But I enjoyed it though. Like I enjoyed it, but like you said, them first 6 rounds and all that, I'm like, man, come on, bro. Then all the slipping and all the wipe your face off and all, I'm like, come on, bro, you tripping. He whipped their ass though. They was definitely going at it, but yeah, Shakur not sitting right there, man. He's not gonna give the fans what they want. He could do that to the electrician though, of course. Of course. You know I ain't even watched that fight.
You didn't?
No, as soon as I seen it was like a replacement, I'm like, I'm not watching it, bro. Cause I already know he gonna knock him out or something.
They,
It took
they
him a
was,
little
they
while.
was, his fans were crying when we was just saying, man, that dude he was at work on Tuesday and he go 9 rounds with you on Saturday. I was like, man, you should have got that man out early. They was like, oh, why you always complaining? At least he did what he was supposed to do. And then the other dude that was his name was in the hat. They were using his name for clout. His name JD Herrera. He Cuban.
Well, I seen him, yeah, the Cuban.
So when they seen his performance, he ain't ready for Shakur. I'm like, but he ranked.
But Kid Austin is.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying. And they was you can't nobody on this planet tell me that it didn't look like Shakur was relieved when he found out that Schofield and him pulled out, because he was all serious, he was all uptight, and soon they found out he was all loose and happy and smiling and all. I was like, man, this dude was sweating, like he was sweating getting ready to fight Kid Austin.
You in my head, bro. No Diddy. Like that's what I was thinking. Like, bro, he do not want no heavy punches, nor did he want a knockout artist. And it's so evident because he shows it. He shows his fed with the Nakatani. That fight, I'm like, all right, he probably, he was being a little too cautious. Like, that shit was boring. But once he fought Dos Santos, I'm like, oh yeah, that's little did he know, bro. He's showing his weakness, and that's why he don't want to fight Keyshawn. He's showing his weakness, bro. They sparred before.
But guess what? Guess what? All that shit Keyshawn was talking. You heard the press tour. You heard the Tank press tour all up, like when he fought Gustavo Lemos. Tank, knock, blah, blah, blah. And then, I want to unify, and I'm coming. Once I get a belt, I'm coming for you. So then he do what he do to Baranchak. And, it's 2 other guys in the division. They know who they are. Blah, blah, blah. Don't say nothing on after fight night when you got the whole world watching, and then wait until Sunday and Monday to go on a tank tour again, talking that shit. Don't be asking me about him. Go ask that nigga about me.
Yeah, come on, bro. And then I remember somebody posted this on YouTube when what you call him confronted him.
Frank Martin.
He was like, why do you want somebody else to, what do you say, 10-0? I'm like, bro, come on, man. And I like what Zab Judah said to him. Why the fuck would he ask that question, though? He said, was fighting for Mayweather worth it? Bro, it's boxing. What the fuck is you talking about? They was homeboys. Him and Tank and Lamont just fought and hitting each other. You can see they was getting a little serious. Bro, it's boxing. This is not basketball now. Y'all making that shit look weak. Because now they got all the other boxers that look up to them coming in friends and shit. Coming in out the amateurs friends. No. Y'all supposed to come in rivals from the... Because that's the whole thing. The amateur stories. You always hear about, oh yeah, he beat me in the hands. He beat me in the hands. It's not, oh yeah, I can't wait till you turn pro, bro. What y'all gonna do? Keep getting... That's why another thing, them belts too, in a way. Oh, let me get a belt, you get a belt. We ain't gotta fight each other. Let's just fight the other 2 champions. Then one of us move up and all that bullshit. Like,
but they selective in that, because the backstory to the Ryan and Devin thing was like, oh, this is game 7. They was 3-3. Now that's the amateurs. But when it came down to Keyshawn and Andy Cruz, the dude who beat you all them times in the Olympics, when you went pro, went back to the Olympics, fought this nigga and lost, and now you don't need him. I don't need him. He need me. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, no, and that's why I said, this is why I know. This is why when they asked me about Shakur and Keyshawn, I was like, man, I think Keyshawn got problems with them technical boxers, man. And I did too. You know what I'm saying? Because, you need somebody that's like, because he just like doing the Devin Haney as far as how big he is. Because Keyshawn like my height. I'm like 5'10". He like my height. Like, he probably would naturally be my size. He younger, so he ain't as heavy as me, but he like my height. You look at all the dudes he been fighting. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So he kind of getting away, and you need them come forward fighters. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That ain't that complex. See, Andy Cruz got a boxing IQ. I think if you can box If you can box and you got some whatever IQ, you gonna give him problems. Until he develop more and see that style, like you know what I'm saying, because he's still going. Is Tank gonna go the distance with a Nahir Albright? Is Tank gonna go the distance with a Medueno? Is Tank gonna go to Tank ain't going the distance with them niggas when he was at that level. He was sparking it. Yeah, only dude that got off the hook was a 6-rounder in German Mirage, and that was only 6 rounds. Pitbull Cruz, he went 12. That's when he had the hand, and now you got Lamont, and nobody else ain't going the distance.
Yeah, and I learned a backstory about that. He heard his man, Spawn, what's his name? What the fuck was his name? I forgot who he sparred, but he said he broke his hand then. But yeah, like Keyshawn, he definitely do, because like I forgot which name you said, but one of them fights I watched, and like he definitely was having a little hard time trying to connect, like clean, because he was like the dude wasn't really like moving, but he was like, you know, boxing him. And Andy Cruz, to me, he got a little like fast, little twitchy, you know, little jab, doing all that dance moves and all that shit.
Because he ain't gonna be there for see Keyshawn. I question the power right now. It will develop. I question his power, but see, when you ain't gonna be there for him to hit that power ain't gonna translate like that.
Just like that's why I commend I ain't even trip about Gary Anderson losing, because you know he ran into somebody that he, you know, that gave him a little problem. That's all.
Yeah,
there ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. You can't, like you said, they ain't gonna be there for you to have him against the ropes and like how you just crushing who we just fought, won the belt. Right. Yeah, you know, Roddy was just right there getting crushed. Everybody not gonna be right there. That shit hurt.
Hey, go back and look at that final round though. Go back. When you go back, fast forward all the way back to that 12th round. You're gonna see something.
Rio and
Gary.
And Gary?
Yeah. You're gonna see something in there. What? Like ain't nobody talking about it, but I'm just a realist. I'm glad my man got a belt, but go back and watch that last round when you get a chance. But
I'm gonna put it on my window.
But yeah, you know, I'm gonna go live a couple more times. You know, I'll be getting up early, getting my workout on before I go to work. I'm gonna be up at about 5 something, almost 6. So I'm gonna shut this one down. But I'm glad you.
Oh
you
no,
hopped
yeah,
on, man.
I was ready to say, man, that's all I wanted to do. Chop it up real fast. I'm glad I caught you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know how it is. I ain't gonna change, bro. I can't do what these other motherfuckers doing out here, man. I gotta keep it all the way funky, man.
That's just you, period. Outside of this YouTube and on it. That's all that is. They, you know, like I said, they got multiple personalities. But all right, man, let me get back to this work shit, man.
All right, man. Be safe out there, man. I should be hopping on. I'll probably do a video tomorrow and go live one of these days before the end of the weekend, because there's some shit coming up this weekend and some other stuff I need to close out on.
All right, man. You too, man. Good hear from you, man.
All right, bro.
Alrighty.
All right, man. Peace. Yeah, man. Salute to Aaron Jones, man. One of my day ones. You already know, man. I just keep it funky, man. But like I said, man, if you got any nutritional value out of this, since this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, that fact-based content, not opinion-based, you know, where we'll tell the truth, even if it's ugly, man. Then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Express yourself, man. Talk to me, I'll talk back. I ain't gonna be all emotional and curse you out and call you out your name. Just pull my coattail if you think I'm swelling about something, you know, and then I'm gonna get with you in the comment section or invite you on so we can talk it out. But anyways, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.